I recently had a conversation with a friend of mine on the topic of self-confidence. And during that conversation, the topic of weight loss had come up. And the reason why it had come up is because they had said that how they felt about themselves, their self-perception, their confidence, their self-confidence was affected by how much they weighed, because they felt that over the last maybe 4 or 5 years, the weight had crept up because they were busy living life and focusing on other things. However, the weight had gotten to a point where now it was affecting how they saw themselves. And now they were really determined to lose the weight. And what they decided to do was to buy some expensive exercise equipment and keep it in their house. And I said, well, that's a great start. That's a good initiative, but I'm going to share with you 3 ways that are much more likely to help you lose the weight that you want to, that can positively affect your self-confidence. And the first is to schedule your exercise sessions throughout the course of the week. And this is based on the idea that unless you schedule your workouts into your day, very similar to how you schedule a meeting or a phone call, you're not going to do it, right? The statistics essentially say you're not going to do it. It's just not a priority for most people. But if you schedule it, you're much more likely to do it. And that's why a lot of people hire a trainer, because a trainer is another way, or a more obvious way, to schedule something to ensure that you do it. The second tactic is to schedule your meals. And the best way you can do this is, I recommend, is through intermittent fasting. And sure, there are a lot of health benefits to intermittent fasting, but the way I'm looking at it is that it is a scheduled window of time within which to eat. And what you do is you essentially create an 8-hour window throughout the course of your day where you eat all your food. And unless you go crazy during those 8 hours, just by reducing the overall amount of time that you have to eat, you'll end up eating less. And if you do this on a day-to-day basis over the course of the week and the month, you'll end up reducing your overall calorie content, how much you intake, and you will ultimately lose weight. And then the third tactic is to change your environment. And I've made other videos on this topic of changing your environment, but it's based on the idea that it's much easier to change your environment and modify it and make it more conducive to eating less and reducing the amount of calories you eat, because that's the major driver for weight loss, than it is to increase your willpower, because willpower, as we all know, decreases through the course of the day. And to change your environment, you do things like getting smaller plates, making sure that when you eat, the plates that you eat on are of a different color than the food that you place on it, so you ultimately can see the contrast and will not be confused, and you'll end up eating a reasonable amount. Always having a water bottle around is another tactic, and another one is to hide all the junk food and keep all the healthy food visible, either on a basket on the table, or perhaps in the refrigerator have your healthy food on the levels that you first see at, and the unhealthier foods kind of hidden outside of eyesight. So those are the 3 strategies I recommend. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, remote coaching, or a seminar or a presentation for your organization or your group, feel free to contact me at john@johngodoy.com.